Hi scholars and families, welcome back to another video where we are going to talk more about adding two-digit numbers. I'm really excited to get started. Let's jump in. Today we are looking at Module 6, Lesson 14. It looks like this. So if you were able to print the packet, go ahead and take your packet out and have it out in front of you. If you're not able to print the packet, that's okay. I have it up here and on the screen right now. And when you're working on your problem, you can pause the screen and look at the problem on my page. Okay, so I'll zoom in so that you can read it in case you need to pause and look at the problem. We're going to start reading together, then you're going to solve on your own. Let's get started. We're reading on 2, 1, 2. There are 22 chairs at the lunch table and 26 students. How many more chairs are needed so that every student has a chair? Pause and solve this problem on your own. Nice job solving on your own. Let's look at it together. So first things first, we need to mark up the problem. So I see a couple of numbers in my problem. I'm going to circle this one over here and 26 right there. Now let's draw a tape diagram to help us solve this problem. So the entire lunch table, think way back when we were at school and we would all sit at the lunch tables together. The entire lunch table has 22 chairs, 22 seats on it. But there are 26 students in the class. How many more chairs or seats do we need to add to the lunch table so that every student has a chair? To solve this problem, you can either use a double tape diagram or a regular tape diagram. I'll show you how to do it with both ways. So if we were going to set up using a double tape diagram, I would set up one tape to show how many chairs are at the lunch table and another tape that's a little bit longer to show how many students want to sit at the lunch table. Then I would label both of my tapes. This one would get a 22 inside of it because that's how many seats are at the table. And then I look back at my problem, there are 26 students. I'm going to write C for chairs on that one and S for students on this one. Now you can solve using a number sentence using this tape diagram. Or you can set up a regular tape diagram. I would have one part for the 22 seats that we do have, and then another part for how many more seats we would need so that every student has a chair. Then on top, I would draw two lines that connect because that is the total number of students who we want to be able to sit at the table. So you can choose to do either one, both work just fine. Since we have both on this page, I can't forget to label this one 22 with a C, and this part is unknown. We don't know how many more we would need in order so that every student has a chair. This is going to be unknown. Or we can actually label it more for more seats that we need. So now you should set up a number sentence that helps you solve. You can either use an addition or a subtraction number sentence. If we were going to use an addition number sentence, it might look something like this. 22 plus blank equals 26. I got this from looking at my tape diagram, my regular tape diagram right here. I know that we have one part of 22. I don't know how many more we need so that every student has a chair, but I know that I want to reach the total of 26 students having a chair at the lunch table. So I wrote it in a number sentence right here. If I was going to use a subtraction number sentence, I know that I need a total of 26 students to have chairs, and the difference between the number of students and the number of chairs would be 26 minus 22, and then we would get our answer. Now, there's a way that we can solve both of these problems. We can grab 22 and count up to 26. Let's do it together. Grab 22, say 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. How many fingers are you holding up? Nice job. You're holding up 4 fingers. So let's fill that in our number sentences and in our tape diagrams. So you could have solved using either a double tape diagram or a regular tape diagram. Both work just fine. And you can't forget to fill in your answer statement. So now we know that 4 more chairs are needed so that every single scholar has a chair at the lunch table. Let's go on to the next page. If you need more time with this problem, you can pause and write whatever you need to write down now. If not, let's keep going. First things first, pause and solve this problem on your own paper. The problem says 48 plus 26. Pick a strategy like quick 10s and 1s, make 10 strategy, add 10 strategy, and solve. Nice job solving on your own. Let's look at this problem together. I chose to solve using the add 10s then 1 strategy. Help me walk through it. So I remember that the first step is to break up both numbers into 10s and 1s. I'm going to break up both numbers into, nice job. Now I broke up 48 into 40 and 8 and 26 into 20 and 6. Next thing I need to do is add the 10s. I'm going to add the. In this strategy, it's called the add 10s then 1 strategy. So if you ever forget, oh no, what do? I don't remember how to solve using this strategy. It's in the name. We always add the 10s, then the 1s. So I added 40 plus 20 because those are my 10s. Those are my, nice job. 40 plus 20 is 60, nice job. I know that 40 plus 20 is 60 because 40 is equal to 4 10s, 20 is equal to 2 10s. 4 10s plus 2 10s is equal to 6 10s, right there. Now I need to add the 1s. Which numbers are my 1s? Raise your hand if you found the 1s. Raise your hand if you found 1 1. Raise your hand if you found both 1s. Nice job. My 1s are 8 and 6. I know that because I can look in my number bond up here, and I know that I broke up my numbers into 10s and 1s. So my other number that is not the 10s is the 1s. 8 plus 6 is, good, 8 plus 6 is 14. So I'm going to write it right there. Now I need to add these 2 numbers together. Help me write a number sentence adding the 2 numbers, 60 and 14 together. Say it on 2, 1, 2. Nice job. You should have said something like 60 plus what number? That's right, plus 14 is equal to, now, We got all the way down here in our problem. We can grab 60 and count on 14 times, or you can break up 14 into tens and ones. So I know that 14 is equal to 1 10 and 4 ones. I really quickly know that 60 plus 10 is equal to 70 because 6 tens plus 1 10 is 7 tens. And if I'm adding my last ones over here, my other part, that's equal to 4. And my answer is 74. Give me 2 thumbs up and a big bright face if you also got 74. Nice job. Now, we're going to look at some other scholars' work and see if they also solved the problem correctly. We're going to look at a few different ways that other scholars also solve the same problem, and you can decide which way you like to solve your own problems, which way is easiest, which way is hardest for you. Let's look at a few together. Right now, I'm looking right here at this problem. So they started with the same problem, 46 plus 28 equals 74. I want you to pause and take a minute to notice the first step that this scholar took when they were solving this problem. Nice job taking a minute to notice. Let's look at this one together. What did you notice about the way that this scholar solved this problem? Nice job. I noticed that this scholar broke up the smaller number into tens and ones. This scholar used the add 10 strategy. So to use the add 10 strategy, they broke up the smaller number into tens and ones. They added together the bigger number and the tens. Then they took that number that they got and added it to the other part. This is just like the same add 10 strategy that we've been learning about all year. Nice job, scholar who did this problem. Next, I want you to look at this middle problem. Pause and take 1 minute to notice the steps that this scholar took when solving and think about what strategy they might have used. Nice job noticing on this problem. Let's look at it together. I notice that this scholar broke up the smaller number into 4 and 24. What? Why 4 and 24? How do those numbers help us solve the problem? Let's think. Why would the scholar choose 4 and 24? Raise your hand if you know. Raise your other hand if you know. I know. It's because this scholar is using the make 10 strategy. What strategy is this scholar using? That's right, they're using the make 10 strategy. So they broke up the smaller number into a part that would get them to the next 10 plus the other part. Then they added together the two parts that get them to the next 10. They added together 46 and 4, and they got to the next 10, which is 50. Then they added 50 to the other part, which was 24, and they did a little bit of extra breaking up here into tens and ones, and then they added to get the total of 74. Nice job, this scholar. They used the make 10 strategy. Right now, scholars, you should be writing each problem that we're looking at on your page. So you should be writing down all of the steps that this scholar took and labeling it with the strategy. So for this one, pause and write all the steps that this scholar took and label it with the make 10 strategy. Nice job. Let's look at this last one right here. Right now, pause and write all of these steps on your page. When you do that, notice and wonder what strategy this scholar used. Nice job writing all those steps on your page. Raise your hand if you know the strategy that this scholar used. That's right. This scholar used the same strategy we did up above, which was the adding tens then ones strategy. It's called add tens then ones strategy. And just like we did up above, they broke up both numbers into tens and ones. They added the tens together, then they added the ones together, then they added those two numbers to get the total. Awesome job on all your hard work, scholars. Your pages of independent practice look like this, and like this, and like this. If you don't have the packet out in front of you, you can open up the packet on your computer, then take out a piece of paper just like this one and write each problem on your page. For example, I see the first problem right here says 65 plus 15. So just like how I have the packet on my screen right now, I'm going to take my pencil and my paper and write 65 plus 15 and solve on my paper. You can use the add 10 strategy, the make 10 strategy, or add tens then ones, or even quick tens and ones to solve these problems. You have so many strategies in your tool belt, and I can't wait to hear about which ones you use to solve. Don't forget to log on to Zern today for 30 minutes, and I can't wait to see you at our Zoom party. Bye, scholars.